Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness. My goodness. Is everybody okay? Did everybody make it out alive? Monday, bloody Monday. What a nice move down. What a beautiful discount we're looking at. If you scoop some up, I mean, we'll get into it in just a moment, but if you scoop some up, I think that was a pretty good call. But yeah, let's dive into the charts here. Let's take a look at the king of all crypto. That is Bitcoin. The most noteworthy, let's just get it out of the way. The Wyckoff schematic that I was following is invalidated. As soon as we took out this low right here, which we were calling a spring, it became invalidated. It doesn't mean that the consolidation is not still showing characteristics of accumulation, because the biggest contributor to my bias of this being accumulation is the decline in volume. The decline in volume, okay? If this was distribution, I'll get into it in just a sec. Let's just quickly slap on a trading range here. If this was distribution, here's how things would look. Every time we come to a resistance point, let's just copy a couple of these bad boys. Every time we would come to a resistance point, you would see a spike in volume. So you would see a volume spike here that was above the normal volume. You would see a volume spike here that's above the normal volume. You would see a volume spike here that's above the normal volume. And you would see a volume spike here that's above the normal volume. Okay? None of that is true. You don't have smart money selling to dumb money. What you have is digestion of supply. So we do have a spike over here. This is what's called a preliminary supply, meaning it is the first time in a rally that supply hits the market. Okay, let's delete these. Let's delete these. Come on. Come on now. When supply hits the market, it doesn't mean that the price just goes down. When supply hits the market, often it continues to rally. Okay, retail drives price, and retail drives price through market orders hitting the order book. A lot of people, the majority of people who have not been trading for a while or don't understand what an order book is or how an order book works, they think that money in equals price go up. And it's not, it's unfortunately not that simple. Okay. The price of Bitcoin is the last price paid. If the market is bullish, they're going to pay a premium, meaning that the price is going to go up. And if that bullish bias happens in an area of high demand where there's not a lot of supply, the price naturally ticks up because there's nobody selling in the order book. So you have to bid higher and higher and higher. The inverse is also true. So when this supply hit the market was still bullish. There wasn't a ton of supply on the market. So this hit right around here. Right here. It's called the preliminary supply. It's the initial supply. It's that first time that smart money is taking profits. From that point, smart money did not take profits. If they took profits, you would be able to see it in the volume. We don't see it in the volume. Smart money is not taking profits. That leads me to believe that this is accumulation. Okay. So now that we have that kind of basic understanding of volume signatures, which is what we're talking about today, volume signatures, we're going to discuss what we have currently. Sorry, just let me clean up this chart. And what do we have currently? Massive volume signature. Massive volume signature right here. Okay. This is what's, let me just get the RSI off for just a moment. This is what's known as a stopping action. Okay, and we'll take a look at some other examples of stopping actions in just a moment, but this is a huge volume signature, massive volume signature. It is way, way, way above what's considered normal here. Like look these, this is normal volume. This is normal volume. We are way, way above normal volume. So it's a significant signature. It's a very significant signature. If you want an indicator that's kind of nice to follow, I don't really like it because it doesn't present itself on the bottom of the frame. But if you are interested, you can go to indicators and you can go VSA volume, VSA Wyckoff volume. Let's turn that on. Let's get that over to, we don't want waves, we want candles, columns right there. And this is color-coded volume, okay? So it tells you the really important things to take note of. So over here, we have a purple signature. The purple signature was, again, preliminary supply, purple signature, preliminary supply. Then we have the digestion of the market, digestion of price. Supply hit, the market needs to digest that supply, which is why you don't continue to trade up. You consolidate as the market digests what just occurred. It's like, you know, trying to process a vegan diet. You know, it takes a long time to process that type of nourishment, and it takes time. It's not like eating a bunch of sugar where you can keep going up. That's probably a terrible example, but anyways, we did get a purple volume signature down here, which we were calling a spring. That idea has been invalidated, but now we're over here with a huge, huge volume signature. Very noteworthy volume signature. But you can see how there was no purple candles throughout the entire consolidation. And the only place where purple candles showed up was at support. That is important to note. Again, if this was a distribution, and for those who are unfamiliar with that terminology, distribution, a distribution is implying that we're going to head down and potentially even into a bear market. If it was distribution, you would see these purple candles, these noteworthy volume signatures on the top of the range at resistance. Everything noteworthy is happening at the bottom of the range. Anything that is worth paying attention to is happening at support where the bulls show up, okay? I'm going to delete this. And I'm just going to keep it simple here with our grayed out volume signatures. Now, a lot of people will come in and they'll say, well, this is just liquidations. This is just liquidations. You're 100% correct in the assumption that a good amount of that volume is liquidations. But it's not just liquidations. Volume is buying and selling. It's buying and selling. So yes, there were panic sellers. Yes, there were liquidations, but there was also a lot of buying as well, as smart money comes in and scoops stuff up. So I think that this is an incredible volume signature and something that we're going to call a stopping action. So let's mark that down. This right here is a stopping action. Stopping action, okay? Now, the thing about a stopping action is it doesn't necessarily mean that the bottom has to be in, okay? It just means that buyers are showing up. Ultimately, the price is going to do whatever it's going to do. Why? Because the price of Bitcoin is the last price paid. But you're seeing these volume signatures come in. It's a really good sign. It's a really good sign. Sentiment couldn't be more bearish. The bull market's over. Everybody's freaking out. The bull market's over. A lot of depression, a lot of despair. And it sucks that this is the way the world works, but that's when the opportunity is. That's when the opportunity presents itself. Be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. And I firmly believe that this is one of those scenarios right now. So let's take a look at a few volume signatures. Let's go over to the weekly chart. And let's take a look at some other stopping actions. So down here, you know, this was the bear market. This was the bear market. And you can see through all of this. So actually, let's take this a little slower. We're going to take a look at this signature right here, and we're going to interpret this signature. Then we're going to interpret this signature. Then we're going to interpret these two. And finally, this one right here. Okay. Because they're very noteworthy. So here, what do we have? We have a stopping action. We have a stopping action to the upside. So we were parabolic. We were heading up very, very quickly. And people started to take profits. Smart money, who was buying in the depths of the bear market, smart money that was buying here at the shakeout that we're not going to name on YouTube, but you all know what this shakeout was. They're taking profits here, and it causes a little bit of a dip. But does the stopping action mean getting tongue tied here? Does the stopping action mean that is the top? No. Because sentiment was incredibly bullish. And how does price move? Price moves based off of the last price paid. So positive sentiment brings this up to a higher price, at which the market cannot sustain any more rally because of the supply that hit the market back here. That's when you get a distribution. You'll notice in the volume, it's a decline in volume heading into this top. So it's not marking the top. It's just saying that smart money made a move. The composite operator made a move. Smart money made a move. If you want to make money in these markets, you have to follow smart money. Smart money just made a move. Are you doing what smart money's doing? Or are you doing what the rest of the fucking herd is doing that loses their entire account? 95% of traders lose money. Are you going to become a statistic? You have to be counter to the herd. What did smart money do? They bought. Okay. What did smart money do back here? They sold. Then we come down here. Boom, another stopping action. Did it mark the bottom? No, it didn't mark the absolute bottom. But what it did do is tell you that the bottom is close. We did tick a few points down, and then we began to rally. But again, what does the volume tell us? The volume is telling us that retail is in control. Retail always makes the wrong moves. So as this price collapsed and smart money bought, it was eliminating the supply from the market, and that allowed retail to mark the books up, to mark the price up. And then we got our second top. Then the actual bear market began to take shape. And again, you can see no volume, until we get here. Actually, here and here. So again, we have smart money coming in. Smart money doesn't know when the bottom's going to come in, okay? A lot of people think that these markets are manipulated by smart money. No, they're not manipulated by smart money. They're influenced by the power of smart investors because they have a lot of money. And there's a very big difference between those two, okay? Smart money doesn't know when the bottom's going to come in, but often when they decide there's enough of a discount and they come in and buy, it marks a bottom because they've chewed up so much of the available supply. If they've bought everything that the sellers are buying, the price just naturally takes over. Demand takes over naturally. So they bought here thinking this was the bottom. And then we ticked a little bit lower and they bought again. They're still smart money. They're still making money here. So, and this was the area where we kind of had the bottom of the bear market take place. I don't think we're in this condition. I mean, I know we're not in this condition. You may feel as though we're in this condition, but we're not. This is not the bottom of the bear market. But we got another volume signature here. This was, I believe, FTX and Luna going down, something like that. But I can't remember exactly which one it was. But that marked the absolute bottom. Pay attention to what smart money is doing. If you bought here, and you bought here, and you bought here, are you upset with your trade? No. You're killing it. You're absolutely killing it. Don't think short term here. Don't think short term. There's a lot of opportunity when you look at things on the macro. So let's take a look at where we are right now. No volume, no volume. The weekly candle hasn't closed here, so it's not updating the volume candle here. But if we go to the daily, we can see, this, when the weekly candle closes, this volume signature will show up. But we got a stopping action, ladies and gentlemen. Does it mean that the bottom is absolutely in for sure? No, but it does mean if you want to make money in this market, you should be following what smart money is doing. And what smart money is doing is buying. If you want to make money in this market, you should be buying, not selling. I can't believe how many people sold. I can't believe how many people who we've been, teaching this stuff to sold. You're going to learn. You're going to learn. If I was to guess, I think we V-shape recovery from here. That's just a guess. We can bounce around. We can go to a different level. We can bounce here, hang out at the bottom of the range for a while. We can just completely V-shape recovery and break out. We can also come down and hit lower prices for a couple moves before that transition changes, and then we take off. But the important thing to note is just this happened. This happened. You got to play with smart money. Don't listen to the fucking herd. The herd is dumb as fuck. Don't listen to stupid people. All right, let's get rid of some of these signatures back here. So why did this happen? Well, it happened because the market is delicate right now. The market is delicate for no other reason than the fact that smart money hasn't bought yet. They hadn't bought in all of this consolidation. Because they took profits over here and they didn't buy at any point here, the market was delicate. But as a result of yesterday, this happened. So now smart money has bought, which means we have firmed things up. We are not delicate anymore. We are not delicate anymore. Let's take a look at the reason that things happened, and that is the Japanese stock exchange. So this is the Nikkei, which is basically the S&P 500 for Japan. It's a collection of 225 stocks, and absolute bloodbath. Heart goes out to those who have been affected by this. When you invest in an index, it's largely considered to be a safe investment. I don't believe they are a safe investment. There's no such thing as a safe investment. But this is brutal. So, if you've been affected by this, I'm sorry, that's not great. Not great. But it was also doomed to happen. And this is because Japan has, for years, decades, been running at negative interest rates. That means if you want to start a business, the bank is going to pay you to take on debt. They're going to pay you to take on debt. That is an artificial stimulation of the economy. And eventually, the debts are called. You have to. It's just how the world works. Eventually, the debts are called. The debts were called at the top here when they went from negative to positive interest rates, meaning that now the bank wants you to pay them for debt. And it's not surprising at all that we're seeing this retracement. And if you think that, this is unique to Japan, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we're going to see one of these types of events in the S&P 500. We're going to see it on the Toronto Stock Exchange. You're going to see it in the Australian markets. You're going to see it in the London markets. You're going to see a move like this at some point because governments around the world have been artificially propping up their economies through price manipulation and cash manipulation. They make cash cheap to kind of stimulate things and kick the can down the road. But eventually, the real world needs to correct, and it needs to go back to the real world. And you do that through a price correction. It's unfortunate that the governments manipulate these markets so much. I am a firm believer in the free market. You should let banks fail. You should let businesses fail. When you let businesses fail, that creates room and opportunity for good businesses to be created. I'm a huge proponent of the free market. And, if you manipulate the free market, this is what you get. This is what you get. You get a adjustment back to reality, a reality check. That's what this is. It's a reality check. Hey, you've been playing and manipulating and kicking the can down the road. Guess what? Now we're going to really fuck you. Now we're going to really fuck you. That's the way the world works, man. Karma, whatever you believe in. I wouldn't sell 70K. Let's just catch up with some of the chat here. Let's get chat up on here. All right. Good speech. Thank you. I wouldn't sell 70K, so I won't be selling anything lower either. I agree. My currency is Bitcoin. When you submit to Bitcoin as a currency, you reap the full benefits. Now, that's a journey. That's a long journey. That takes a lot of, if you're new to this market, you're not emotionally or mentally prepared to take Bitcoin as a currency. But what you need to do is figure out a way to transition, and that takes time. It takes time. If you've been holding Bitcoin for less than 2 years, if you've been holding Bitcoin for less than 3 years, you're not quite there yet. You're not quite there emotionally or mentally, because it just takes time, man. It takes time. I've been on a Bitcoin standard for a while, and you can only learn the benefits of the Bitcoin standard by seeing it firsthand. And there's no shortcut. There's no shortcut. So you gotta just take it as it comes. But what was the point I'm trying to make there? Oh yeah, I do want to make a note on Bangbox. So for those people who have signed up, we push Bitcoin coin margin a lot. We push coin margin a lot. And the reason is we're bought in. Matt's a Bitcoin maxi. I'm a Bitcoin maxi. Okay. We fully believe in the future of Bitcoin. We fully believe. So because we fully believe in the future of Bitcoin, what are we trying to do? We're trying to accumulate as much of it as we possibly can. We're trying to accumulate as much as we can, which is why we choose Bitcoin margin. Some of the comments that I've seen as a result of this dump, people regretting that they bought into coin margin at higher levels and now we're at lower levels. You shouldn't have used coin margin to begin with. So I would recommend that you switch over to Tether margin, because that's not the bot for you. We're up 24%. We're up 24%. It's right here, 0.124. We put 0.1 BTC into this bot. I have 24% more in a matter of 2 weeks. I'm stoked. That's fantastic. I made 24% Bitcoin. If you were in the Tether bot, you would be out on the dollar. You would not be holding Bitcoin. I mean, we're not in a trade right now. And you would have 20% more dollars. If you measure your life, if you measure your success in dollars, you should be on Tether. If you measure your life, if you measure your success on Bitcoin, you should be in coin margin. I measure my worth in Bitcoin. But yeah, if you guys aren't already signed up, scan the QR code, get into the Discord, go to blackbox.pro, sign up, make an account today. You'll love it. It really takes the stress out of trading. And you just set it and forget it. You set it and forget it. It's great. But back to Bitcoin. And speaking of Bangbox, let's take a look at the small time frames. So we're getting real close. We're getting real close to a signal. So if you want to capture this signal, you totally can. When is Blowfin? We're going to release Blowfin as soon as basically a week after testing. So I can't give you a date. If I give you a date, it'll end up being wrong. If you're really impatient and want to get set up with the bot today, I highly recommend that you set up digital ID RSN ID. Become a digital resident of Palau. It's 100% legal. 100% legal. If you want to trade on BitGet, you can. Doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter if you're American. Doesn't matter if you're from the UK. You just go to rsn.id, rns.id, and you can become a resident of Palau, and you can trade wherever you want. I think the only one that's really strict is Binance. Binance needs a mailing address, and these guys are working on that too. So, did I see Thailand's new DVT visa basically trouble-free for 5 years? No, I didn't, but I'll take a look at that. But Blowfin's coming. Blowfin's coming. But I still recommend that you get digital ID. It's just diversification of your identity. You know, governments one day, they're going to come after your Bitcoin. Are you ready for that? Are you prepared? Do you have confusing... If you're cut and dry, man, if you're an American citizen with no fucking passport and you have a Coinbase account, say goodbye to your fucking Bitcoin. Unless you pull it off. And even then, they'll request because you haven't been buying Bitcoin privately. You got to diversify your identity. You know, talk to a professional about that, but the professionals do somewhat seem to be useless because they don't want to take on any liability. But anyways, I digress. Taking a look, we're getting close to a signal. You can probably get into a trade if you move fast, but also get into the Discord and verify an account. And you can get all the signals from the bot as well. We got all the signals listed here. All the buy, all the entry, all the sell, all of that stuff is fed directly to the Discord, so get set up over there. But yeah, back to Bitcoin. We're looking good, and here's why. Let's go to the hourly. Whenever you get a large move down, you correct upwards. Let's actually go to the 4-hour. Huge, relentless move to the downside. You have to get a bounce. You get a bounce. Black Box is poised to capture that bounce. Where are we going to bounce to? We could potentially bounce up to 63,000. So, you know, we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking that we're going to get a bounce here. We could do a V-shaped bounce where we just head up to a level, catch a support and head up. But when you get a move like this, every time you dump, you pump. And every time you pump, you dump. It's a really simple rule. And it's true. Look at the chart. Look at any time the price has dumped, you get a pump. Anytime. Look, dump, pump, dump, pump. Doesn't matter. It always happens. So I did hear a few people talking about, oh, I think I'm going to shut the bot off. Don't shut the bot off now. We're getting ready for a pump. The pump will be reactive, so we won't know if that pump will be a true V-shaped recovery where it just breaks out of the consolidation. Like, you know, this is one of a few possibilities, but we're not counting on it. But we will absolutely get at least some sort of a test, maybe to the mean of the channel before a retest back down. We don't know. But Bangbox will be there no matter what. And if you stop the bot, you just fucked up all of your data. You fucked up all of your data. You know, this is not just me saying, you know, leave the bot running because we make money off of the bot. This is me saying the bot needs to be your measuring tool. If you manipulate the data of your measuring tool, how are you going to measure your own performance? You can't. You can't measure your own performance if you're fucking with, you know, it's like having a ruler where it goes 1, 5, 7, 2, like the inches are all fucked up, you know, it doesn't work. But anyways, we're looking for a bounce. We're looking for a bounce. And I think we're going to get a bounce. Let's take a look at the US markets. I deposited more BTC for Bangbox to play with. Hell yeah. Would be great if you did a video about the identity thing, at least about what you would do hypothetically speaking. Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of videos about the digital ID. I don't think they will perform well on my channel, so we'll just allow the rest of the market participants to make videos on that. Let's take a look at the rest of the market. Now, one thing that's been doing really good is gold. Let's go up to a higher time frame. I mean, it's getting a little bit of a correction today, it seems. But it held up really well. Held up really well. It seems to be in a nice little pattern here. Higher highs and higher lows throughout. I wouldn't be surprised if gold has a breakout. But if gold has a breakout, it's not going to be on good news. It's going to be on bad news. So that would be escalation of war, escalation of bad things. When gold's rallying, it's not necessarily a good thing. But it held up quite well in the market overall. Let's take a look at the S&P. Nice gap down. Beautiful. Beautiful gap down. And trying to fill. Yeah. A little bit of a correction. A little bit of a correction. But we haven't broken any structure. You know, we haven't taken out this low over here. So it's still an uptrend. Shake out the weak hands and continue to keep on pumping. Shake out the weak hands and keep on pumping, baby. I'm not worried. NASDAQ, broken any structure there? Nope, still intact. All the structure is still intact. We have not taken out this low. Till we take out the swing low on the index, you can only assume that we're going to truck higher. This dip is bait. Usually if it's a real market crash, gold would crash too. That's very true. Yeah. Everything crashes in a real crash. It was a damn good liquidity event, but it's not the end of the bull market. Not for a long shot. Let's what else can we look at? Oh yeah, Bitcoin dominance. I wanted to look at Bitcoin dominance. So this is why, you know, I hate to pour salt on a fresh wound, because alts got fucking decimated yesterday. 20+% down in a day. Alts got fucked. But if you've been listening to what I've been saying for months, we don't touch alts while this is in an uptrend. And this is why. This is why. We've been talking about a rotation, but the rotation hasn't happened yet. Until thought becomes reality, we don't react. I'm not going to take an allocation into altcoins until this chart changes. We are going to continue to follow the trend. And this is exactly why we avoid alts right now. Because if you hold more than 50% of your portfolio in alts, you're feeling it big time. You're feeling it big time. You've lost a lot of money by ignoring this chart. You've lost a shit ton of money by ignoring this chart. Next time, don't ignore this chart. When this chart is in an uptrend, it is not time. The time for alt season is extremely short. Out of 4 years, you might get 4 months. That's it. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. You get fucking 4 months out of every 4 years. Bitcoin, you get years. You get 3 years. Actually, that reminds me. Let's take a look at Bitcoin again. And let's go to the yearly chart. The yearly chart. This is how you keep it simple. Let's go to log. This is how you keep it simple. Okay. You want to talk about a trend. This is the trend. Okay, we'll ignore the very early days of Bitcoin because, you know, it's something so new, it's hard to price. But we'll see 1, 2, 3 green, 1 red. So 3 years green, 1 year red. 1, 2, 3 years green, 1 year red. 1, 2, 3 years green, 1 year red. 1, 2, 3 years green. We will be green this year. We will be green in 2025. And then we will be red in 2026. The trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. But yeah, don't lose sight of the higher time frames. All these people that are saying that the bull market's over, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're noobs. They're emotional noobs trying to attach logic to an irrational market. Bunch of monkeys buying and selling bananas. And you're going to listen to them. This market's not over. It's showing no signs of being over whatsoever. It's showing signs of people taking profit, and it's showing signs of smart money buying. But it's not showing signs of stopping. All right, I don't really want to get into too many alts today for obvious reasons. You know, Bitcoin dominance being that obvious reason. We're not ready to rotate just yet. So I think I'll close things out there. We'll keep it nice and short and sweet. Let you guys know that I'm still bullish. And, you know, don't beat yourself up too much if you feel as though you've made poor choices and bad decisions in trying to capitalize on this market. Shit happens. Scars protect you in the future. But I'll finish on this note that, you know, when you're most scared, when it's hardest for you to press that buy button, it's usually the best. And there's a lot of fear out there. There are a lot of people doubting themselves. There are a lot of people doubting other people in the market. When it makes the least sense, when you see that buy button and you go to press it and it fucking makes you sick inside, that's usually the best. That's usually the best time. All right. Thank you all for joining into the live stream, everybody. We will see you in a day or two. I'm going to try and live stream as much as I can and put out as much content as I can. Don't forget to scan the QR code at the bottom of my webcam here. Get into the Discord. Get signed up in the private group. Get the signals. Get the bot. The bot is still up. The bot's been doing incredible. If you had your whole net worth, which I don't recommend that you do, but if you had your whole net worth, you missed this whole move. You've been sitting pretty in your currency of choice, and you're up 24%. So don't discount what this bot can do for you. And until next time, please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.